Hi guys, we're out doing yard work. It's not sunny today, but I'm actually not sad about that. It's still, the weather's nice. It's not raining, and we're trying to get, at least I'm trying to get some stuff in before it rains later today.
Yeah, also we have our friends coming for a work week this next week, so we've been cleaning the house like nuts.
Yeah.
In fact, you'll see some, while you're watching this video, you will see Leslie in action, cleaning beds, high speed. We'll try to get you to a couple different rooms. Also, we do a lot of hardwood repair, which is a bit of a mystery and kind of scared me a little bit, but I think it's gone pretty well. So enjoy that. Anything else we have? Upgrade to the kitchen lights.
Oh yeah, that's
if you
right.
like that.
We finally got the pendants up.
Yeah.
We got a shelf up finally for all the pots in the kitchen. That was really good. I don't know.
And we
weeks
have
are full.
Yeah, and we have a Mr. Bingley who found another hole, and this time we caught him in action. If you like Mr. Bingley, we caught him in action going down the hole, disappearing for 30 seconds, and then coming up. So yeah, watch for the footage. Okay, thanks for coming along, and we'll see you at the end. It's a new week, Chateau time. It's the evening of Sunday, and we've actually done really good at not working on Sunday this year. But today we're getting to it here. So I had to get started a little bit early. Did a little bit of mowing. Boy, oh boy, the grass is looking good. Woo! It's April. It's already looking like peak. But very exciting. We have 7 days from now. We will have, I think, about 13 people coming out for a work week. Should be lots of fun. Leslie and I, and a bunch of folks from Lethbridge, Alberta, a couple from Oregon, and I think some from maybe Alberta, BC. And so it's going to be great. We're gonna really hit a bunch of outdoor projects. But before they come, there's of course a lot of work to be done before they come to get ready for them. For example, getting all the rooms ready, washing all the beds. I'm going to go through all the plumbing and make sure all the drains are working. We're going to try to start cleaning up and sorting tools. It's actually complicated to have 10, 15 people working for a week. So we're thankful for it, and we're getting ready for it. And so begins the race. Only a few days till our work crew gets here. Friends from Lethbridge, a lot of friends from Canada, some from Oregon. Gonna be great. We really wanted to eat around the table, just one table. And so Leslie managed to get 14 chairs around this table. Am I right? It's gonna be a little tight, but we'll have a lot of good conversations here. A lot of fun. Well, what have we here?
I know, isn't that great?
2 open doors.
Oh my goodness.
First time we've seen this open.
So fun.
We're trying to fix this floor.
Wow, don't want bugs in.
Look at that.
Wow, is it just like there's no cement there anymore?
That beam is totally gone, and those ones are disconnected too.
But look,
yeah, I know.
There's a bottom under it, and this one has none.
It's all dust. So it's falling through,
No
but
wonder.
we'll repair it. We'll repair it. There are times where it's difficult to figure out what's going wrong, and then there are other times where it's quite easy to figure out what's gone wrong. Look at this. Yeah. So we're gonna replace those boards. They're gonna be nice and strong. I mowed about 5 days ago, and we have a flower garden. But right now, we have discovered that Mr. Bingley has found another hole. So Leslie's gonna wait 4 minutes, then let him out, and we're gonna see where he goes. And I've got this old dishwasher grate that I'm gonna use to block it. Oh, this one's still covered. Oh, this one looks not too bad either. Let's see. Oh, where is it? Oh, I think someone has actually gotten down there. That could be it. And now we wait. Okay, we're sitting here quietly, waiting for Mr. Bingley to see where he's gonna go. She just let him out. Hopefully he doesn't see us. Let him all crouch down. I think we have a winner. Ha ha ha! Caught in the act. Yes. Oh, I see how this works. I see how this works. All right, Mr. Bingley, get out of there. Oh, I caught him in the act. He was all the way down there. I could not even see him. He's a bad dog. Where's he off to? What a stinker. I'm not the Hildebrand you want doing the Brocont tour, but this piece looks really cool. Look at the sides. It's kind of got a rounded feel too, all of it. 400 euros, so it's not cheap, but looks great.
Okay guys, one of the best things in life is lemon curd. It's just amazing. I remember the first time going to England and I think I had orange curd and I thought this has got to be the best thing ever. We did have lemon in Canada growing up, but Mom never made it. Like I didn't know you could make it. We just buy it in a jar. And she made everything. Anyway, so this is the best recipe. You take a potato peeler, you peel as carefully as you can to get hardly any pith, just the actual peel. And then you're gonna take it and put it in a food processor. We're gonna put sugar in there and pulse it up. Okay, we whizzed it all around. It became yellow sugar. Did I tell you that these lemons were picked from Spain? Brought them home. I thought it was time we better use them. And we have work week friends coming in just a couple days. And I figured real lemon curd will be pretty great on Sunday night crepes, which is soon. So after you do that in the food processor, you're gonna add 1/4 pound of butter, soft butter, into the same bowl. I think it was 113 grams or 114 grams of butter for our European friends. And then blitz it all up together. Put all your zest in, put in 1/2 cup of lemon juice, 4 eggs, 1 egg at a time. Make sure it's pre-mixed. And then you get this sort of, see this little frothy? It's really frothy mixture. And then you throw it in a pan and we're just gonna cook it until it gets nice and thick. And then it's gonna be delightful. Then we're just gonna throw it in a jar and let it set. And it is lemon curd goodness. It is yummy, yummy stuff. And that's how you make lemon curd from lemons from Spain. Okay, you can see the yellow goodness. And I got 2, almost 3 Bon Maman jars that I do keep. If anybody knows me, I do have a thing for jars. I have no idea why. I don't know if I just grew up with a mother who canned, and so I don't know. She liked jars, I like jars. They're just so handy. You just don't know what you're gonna need them for. So, 2 and almost 1/3. Not bad out of a few lemons. So go home, make some lemon curd. It's yummy.
Already started the next job. Leslie wants, oh, look at that, the nice shadow but that thing throws. Some shelves above the sink for drying pots and stuff. So it would be super easy if this was going into wood, but it's not going into wood, it's going into rock. And so I got the big drills out and I'm starting off with the porcelain bit so I don't crack my saw, so I don't crack them. That thing works pretty good to get in. See if I can see if you can see that, focus on that. It's hard to focus on. And then we go to the hammer drill. I had the wrong bit. I had a multi-use bit and it was doing nothing. I was thinking this is gonna take 2 hours to make 12 holes, but this one's going much better. It's a true masonry bit. Oof. The right tool makes all the difference. This laser level is gonna help us out. I should have had it when I was doing the tile. I was looking at the tile, not quite as straight as I'd like, but we'll get the shelf straight anyways. I'm happy with how it's going, but I'm gonna be honest, it's taking forever. Even with the better bit, it's just slow, like. almost no difference. Again, I'm trying to use this masonry bit, or this glass kind of tip bit. It works good because it doesn't crack the tile, which I don't want to crack the tile. And then we go to the hammer drill. But man, slow. Yeah, we finally got the last ones drilled. And so now what I did is you can see I filled it with construction adhesive, and then we put the anchors in, give them a tap in, and then they hold pretty good.
Well, remember our little rhodo forest? There are some popping out. Lots of big blooms, buds. And look at these guys. These guys are almost ready to pop. Yay. And then when I was just driving in from the store, I want to go check these out over here because they have officially popped. So fun. They're just so bright. Like, I'm not a big bright flower kind of person, but these ones look fantastic when they're bright. So I can't wait to see all the colors. One year I did a little overview of all the colors we had, but check that out. On a gray day, it even looks beautiful. So more to come in this little rhodo forest that is getting revitalized. Once they all bloom, we'll give them all a good haircut so we can try to start creating shapes of the big branches and bases, even like this guy, so that he has a cool shape. And yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Shelves nice and strong, looking good. And the next job, Leslie wants to switch out this chandelier with two hanging pendants we found at Brocant's. And then probably what we're gonna do is take this chandelier and move it over to here. It's a little bit more light, and also that one's hanging too high, whereas this one's got some chains, so we'll get it to the right spot. Here we go. I'm definitely not a handyman, but the first, whenever you're switching an electrical outlet, the first job you got is you gotta flip the breaker. That's on, that's off. Now, before we do all the work installing these, let's make sure they work. So what I've done is I've done a temporary wiring to this plug, and we're gonna plug it in and we'll see if we got power. Yes, that one works. Good news, let's try the other one. See if it reaches. Yeah, good, both work. Next step. Now I flipped the breaker, so there's no way there should be power, but the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna turn this guy on, double check, because we don't wanna get electrocuted. This will tell if there's power. For example, power there. Yeah, there's no way there should be power here because the whole breaker's turned off, but gotta be safe. So now we can proceed with disconnecting this guy and taking it down. Now, most of you would, if you're buying a new fixture, you would not need to test it, right? Because if it's new, it's gonna work. But when you're buying from a Brocant, you never know. So what I just did is cut it, like we were getting rid of something, and so I cut off the extension cord, and then we just wired it like this. Now, if you plug this in, you could electrocute yourself. So obviously you don't wanna have that plugged in when these things are just sitting on like that. If you haven't done a lot of electrical, I mean, this might be helpful, but on the other hand, electrical is one of those things you don't really want to try unless you kind of you've watched a lot of YouTube videos and you feel a little bit comfortable, because it could kill you, right? So a couple things I'm going to use. Got cutters to strip wire. This guy's great. It strips also the wire. A couple electrical. These are great. These are for joining cables. We have one coming out of the wall, and what we're going to do is you put the one in and you clip it down nice and solid, and then I'm going to put two running to different spots. And then each side will have to use another form of the same kind of idea to connect to the light. So those are nice and safe. These are the old ones I used to use in Europe. They're like, you gotta get a screwdriver in there. They're quite a bit slower. I mean, they're safe, but they're big and they're slow. So I don't like using them. This I'm gonna use to mark my spots, tape measure. Stud finder, because we've got to screw into something, and then a little measurement device. I was trying to figure out how to get a straight line. And so again, laser pointer to the rescue. I can run the line down the middle, and I went to the far side, made sure it was in the middle there, and then you just go up and I can mark a nice straight line. Make sure we're good. You probably can barely see it, but I did actually trace a line, so we have the line this way marked. Now, how do we get this one? Well, here's the plan. Back to our laser level, and what we're doing is we're shooting right across, and I measured, Leslie wants it 68 centimeters in, so 68 here, and that means that it's gonna be straight. And I'll just mark that, and we got our dot. Laser level out, looks like they're both the same. 32 centimeters above the deck. And all right, let's keep going. Well, it always takes longer than you want it to, but those guys are up before Leslie got back with the food for the volunteers. And we also switched this one out, so a little bit more light over here. This one now we debated hard. We had to make it a little bit higher because people walk under it. It's supposed to be apparently over top of the table, so she's wondering about perhaps potentially we'll run a track over and then bring it down. We'll see, but job done.
Okay, we're back at it. We're getting the beds ready for work week and making up the bed that we need for people to come stay here. I hope it's sunny when they're here because the windows are just so glorious when you look outside and see all the beautiful sun. So it's time to get at her and get some sheets on the bed.
So here we are, while we're fixing the floor in the front, I figured we gotta get this one. This one is bad. It's a pretty significant squeak right in the main entryway to the morning room. So students come through here all the time for meals. And I think, well, it looks like what you've got here is, you know, they have nice consistent lines. And then for some reason, this one's like off centered. Like all the other ones are, they probably have a beam right under that edge if their construction holds, you know, consistent, and yet these two are randomly here, so we're gonna see what's going on. We'll have to pull it up, unfortunately. Well, we've got the culprit. You can see that there's like, it's kind of like sand. It was concrete at one point, or you know, sitting on those branches to support it. And you got a beam here, beam there, and you got a beam here, but this is the middle, and it's where all the stepping was. And so the boards just go up and down a bit. So, dilemma. And Leslie and I were just debating this. It's a terrible spot. Like everybody sees it. We used to put a floor mat over it, so we may still do that. I could try to cut that whole piece out, this whole piece here, and then I'd be able to get like nice long support beam all the way across on both sides, and then construction adhesive or a nail gun to knock it down. Sorry about the camera moving. Or I could just get little pieces of wood and stick them under here and call it good. Which I think Leslie wants me to do because she doesn't want me to gouge this stuff up anymore, which I understand. I don't know, we'll see what we end up doing. We decided not to pull up more than we needed to. We did learn some things, like look at this. Oh, I can't anymore. I could slide this whole guy over because there's two rails on the side, but what we've done is I've dropped in small pieces and then took the hammer and banged them in like jing, 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 jing. So like it goes like to here, and then one goes to here, and one goes to here, and one goes to here. And so what results now is incredibly strong. Like this is not moving at all. And then we've left this little guy on the bottom. And what we're gonna do is fill that up with construction adhesive. And then I'm gonna tap it into place, get it flat. And then we're bringing out, this is Leslie's solution. I can't believe I didn't think of this. I brought my nail guns from the US. And so it's great to have those. This is a 16 gauge, so that'll put a nice little, we'll put a couple in there. You won't see them. It'll be nice and quiet, hidden. I'll probably sneak one over here too, because there's a beautiful beam right there. And then we'll stick a couple here, and I think we're good. And it's not real pretty, but it's firm. And then we'll put some wood putty on top of it and try to blend it out. I got tons of construction adhesive. We're gonna tap that on, and it'll run all over the place, but you won't see it. And then we'll get her down good.
All right, guys, thanks so much for all your interesting input on all the different plants I have been asking about. Cool that the little woodland guy is an anemone, and I will tell you something about that in a minute. But I wanted to come back out here and look at this again because I got a few different, like a bunch actually, of different ideas for this. So I just really needed to come back out and look. And then I'm going to show you pictures that I found in order to kind of compare. So I'm going to take some pictures and then put some side by side and figure out which guy this is. Well, as you know, we plowed a whole bunch down so we can try to get at this big old tree, which is great. And when the work week comes, we'll get all of us to drag it somewhere. But some of the ones I did want to save were the lilacs. I love lilacs. And they're just starting to come out. I can't wait. I'll have to see if we can smell them yet, but they're just starting. So these light lavender ones, and then we have some sort of burgundy color. I wish we had white, but I don't think we do, unless, who knows, every year there's another revelation. But yay for lilacs blooming. Such a short time, but they're just lovely. Well, I brought my computer back out to check out these little flowers that are down here. And one of our friends, I'll show you, actually had said they found one called a Canada anemone, which is very pretty. Kind of reminds me a little bit of something we see in Oregon, actually, in the forest. They're lovely, but that shape of petal is not the same as, as this guy. Kind of have this wiggly shape to them. So then I Googled just a forest anemone, and this one, the Nemorosa, who is native to Europe and is part of the buttercup family, which is kind of cute. And I think he's probably it, the Nemorosa. I don't know what the common name is for him, but I hope he keeps spreading and coming. He does have the red stems and the kind of parsley-like little leaf. So the anemone Nemorosa. So anyways, that's cool. And I guess, I don't know if these are buttercups, but they're beside some other little yellow flowers that are adorable. I think they're a bit more weed-centered, but they're probably something. And then, of course, down where the dog is down there, there's actually some nice spiky flowers coming that are like, it's not coming to me. I know this one, like a hyacinth, kind of like a grape hyacinth. But these ones are quite substantial, a bit taller than what we would see as a grape hyacinth at home, but same idea. And they're quite lovely. Like, I'm happy to see those clumps coming back. They started last year, and I hope we can keep those guys coming. They're great.
One really interesting thing is that each week is different, and sometimes you shoot a lot of video, sometimes you don't. I feel like we haven't shot very much video, but we're getting ready for the work week, and Leslie has cleaned this whole area up. We're continuing to clear it out. And we're gonna make this kind of a tool area. Of course, we have the nice breaker that Jeremy installed. So we have power now on the walls and power for our tools. My work area here under the front terrace, it's cleaner. I still need to work. And then of course over here we have supplies like tiles and plumbing supplies and spare wood and lots of things like that. So this has all become a bit of a work area. This is going to be more of a workshop. We might put kind of tables / bench around the whole outside, hang stuff on the walls, and keep kind of our tool pails. I've organized a lot of my tools into pails and kind of left one on each level, so you're never too far away from a screwdriver, because otherwise you spend 10-15 minutes trying to find a tool every time you have a little job, and there's always a little job. So let's get that organized and we'll see how this goes. Now, I think we still have lots of extra tables over here from back in the day. So we're gonna bring some tables in temporarily just to do a cheap fix. Side note, one of the projects that we might, depending on the weather, get after is we may have someone come out here and scrape the train station and paint it. Fun. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at all those red tables. Those are gonna be perfect. Just getting ready to carry all these tables, and then it occurs to me, I have a trailer. I could be using that to move these things. They're heavy. Why not, right? Be smart. We got the new belt from Amazon, and so good to have this tractor working again. Side note, I wonder how the tariff thing is gonna work with Amazon. I wonder now if you're gonna start getting tariffed on everything. We haven't really got to the GA bathroom this year, but we do need to do some work here. You notice the paint was coming off from the showers, so we're gonna tile that back area, and hopefully we'll be able to get some glass in here, because it's a really small base. We kept the base because we loved the original tiles, and we just kind of wanted to keep them, but of course it's so narrow that the guys end up showering and water goes everywhere. So probably we need to get some glass or maybe even change the base, but we'll get on that. And then looking up, you can see a couple things. First of all, we've gained some mushrooms. Chateau ownership. And this old brocante light seems to be tripping a lot. So sadly, we're gonna have to take it down. And I don't know, we don't know if it's water running down into the thing or whatever, but we're gonna replace that with a modern fixture.
So I came back over to check out the yellow blossoms with all the links you all have sent. Thank you so much for that. Rob said that he had got a note saying people thought that I was doing this to change analytics. I mean, I hadn't thought of that. Sorry. I'm just counting on all of you guys being great in the garden world, that you may impart wisdom. It's always a little faster. However, guess what I have just noticed? So I came back out so you can see the bottom part where the blossoms are, which is why I probably see it this year and not other years. And I was trying to see if I could stand back and see where the rest of the tree was, which I kind of see actually. See, so there's like two things of pink, and there's a big tree in the middle, and then there's green behind, which actually I think that's how big that tree is, which is incredible. But the trunks that you see that are blossoming trees, I think that's that crazy tree of heaven, which is really bad. And that's clearly gone in between the pink flowering cherry, and then that presumably bay laurel, which I'm not exactly sure for sure exactly which one it is yet, but there's another one there. And then that of course is a normal cherry laurel. And so we've got to get rid of these somehow. I think it's going to be quite a dog, because you can see all these suckers that are everywhere. And we've noticed this for quite some time, that they have been quite going crazy, probably the last 2 years. And, you know, you don't know what they are at first, but they are continuing to kind of invade this whole forest over here. So anyway, let's go take a closer look with the pictures that I pulled up online at these yellow flowers. We'll see who it is. Okay. So there's our little yellow flowers, and you can see some of them kind of go all the way along the stem. Some of them are kind of in a cluster at the end. That's that crazy tree of heaven thing. So, and they're kind of fluffy. Not him, he's ugly. So let's go down. I have no table here. So this one is a laurel nobilis. And this one really looks super similar, which would be that sweet bay laurel in English. This is sort of the English one, showing what it would look like as a tree, which that would be nice if we could get him to be that. Heaven knows, or maybe it'll end up more clumpy, which is more likely. But who knows? I can't get in there to see the actual, well, I could probably get in there. But I'll have to go check it out at some point to see where the base of him is. I can't tell. It's a bit mayhemish in there in general. So we'll have to wait and see about that. I'm going to come down here again. And then this one was like, someone had mentioned a golden wattle, or a version of an acacia, which I was really hoping wasn't it. I don't think it is. The leaves are just not quite right, thank goodness, because I don't like acacia. This one was a spurge laurel, which the leaves aren't right. These look a little bit more rubbier, more rubber. Sorry. And it's low. This one's huge. This was what we would call the California bay laurel. Again, not quite the same, a little more elongated leaf than the ones I have here that really do look like bay leaves. So I think it does take us back to the sweet bay laurel idea, which would be great, because these are the kind you can actually cook with, which I've actually always wondered, because We have a bunch at the back door. Remember that I always wondered if that was edible. So I might have to take these ones for sure to the pharmacy and see what they say, if I can remember to actually do that when we go. But meanwhile, enjoy the fleur. Look, it goes all the way up. This must be a decent sized tree. Anyways, so one day we will decipher this, but thanks for all the input. There's a lot of laurel out there, is what we've discovered. And I wondered about that. So it would be fun if this one was actually the one we could put in soups and sauces and stuff. That would be awesome. Okay, you can see it much better here. See that whole green guy there? I think is that, which would be so fun. And then see all those crazy stalks and trunks, which is that invasive tree, just sucking up everything good around these lovely plants and basically killing them. So, boy, someone did send me one link on Tree of Heaven and what we can do with them to try to get rid of them, because it's getting quite riddled with them. Look, they're all here too, and they just keep growing more. So yeah, this could be interesting in general. Okay, Mr. Bingley, let's go. Let's not go in there. There'll be prickles.
I put this one off all week. It's the end of the week, and I just got to get it done. It's scary. It's always scary when you don't know what you're doing with the job. So what I decided to do is we cut the existing beams off that were all crumbly, and then I put a brace on it. And then what we'll do is next to the brace, or in this case, 2 braces, we put a big block, and then we'll just get the level on it and make sure that it's consistent. I don't know that it'll be level because I think the whole thing slopes a bit down, but we'll make it consistent. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get concrete, a little bit of concrete. I'm gonna drop the concrete on top of this kind of sandy rock residue, and maybe just like a couple inches of concrete, and then sit the wood on top, tap it till it's level, and then screw in it to the braces and let it all harden. And then we put the hardwood back on, and we'll put 1 pin right on the junction, just kind of like they did, like ding, 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 ding. And we'll knock into those things. And then we'll put a nice board across the top, and yeah, let's hope for the best. Worst case, we can get somebody, a real person, to do it. I've said many times that none of you want to hire me. And I'm sure there's guys that could, you could hire somebody to do this for $1,000 maybe. And maybe they'd pull out a bunch more, I don't know. But I think this is gonna work. We got the concrete, we got wood sitting in the concrete, screwed to each other. It's a bit Frankenstein, but it's all level. The wood's all at the right spot. It's all sitting in concrete, so the wood's not gonna move. We're gonna put those boards back in. Of course, they're tongue and groove, so they lock with each other, but then we can also tack them down on top of the wood. So it's gonna be a whole lot more stable. Remember, I guess 3 out of the 4 boards had completely rotted / separated. So, you could feel the floor dropping a ½ inch when you moved. Now it's already solid, even before we get it all together. So, what is that? That's a $2 fix. We used about 1/3 of a $6 bag of concrete, and we used a bunch of scrap wood we had sitting around. Oh, and a few screws. Let's call it a $3 fix. A side benefit to this little floor project is this door has been the very worst at sealing of all of them before we took it apart. Now that it's all apart, it's sealing perfectly. So we'll try to, when we get the floorboard in there, we'll make that floor peg. They have those security things at the bottom. We'll make that nice and tight. And so when it goes in, it's in, and this door does not let any air in, nor people. Day by day, we want to make small improvements. And so whether it's adding a few weights for the students to have a little weight room, or it's adding motion detecting lights so that it's easier to get around and keep making improvements. I think it was last year we put motion detectors on this hallway light, and it's been such a game changer. It's just, you're walking through and you just want light. You don't want to turn on a light, turn off a light. And so I'm going to put a couple more in here. This is a staging area for our tools for the work week. Leslie's got her painting. She's got weeding stuff. She's got kind of a paint area, a scraping area, lots of brushes, a little bit of caulking. And she's got weeding stuff over here, battery chargers, and then just kind of a variety of tools to get going. All right, let's see when it clicks on. How close do I have to get? Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. It's gonna stay on for 5 minutes now.
You know, work is a funny thing. Look at that, you can see all the dust I'm kicking up in the air. I should be upstairs cleaning bathrooms and finishing up the beds. I'm mostly done with that. But I've been setting up, we're gonna come up down the hall here, all of our tables for a work week with all our painting supplies and everything that they're gonna need. And then I came into this mayhem of a room that had my garden tables, which is what I'm supposed to be working on right now. But then I saw all this gross stuff all over the floor. This is swept, actually. And you know, sometimes when you just have the urge to work and do something, you just have to do it. So that is what we're doing. This stuff has always bothered me. There's like hunks of wall all over the floor. And then, you know, anyways, stuff gets sitting around places and it's a mess. So anywho, it's dusty, but I am actually happy. There's a lot of the red terracotta floor down here, which is cool, which we didn't know because there was so much of the wall on the floor. Ay caramba, poor little wall. So anyway, someday maybe it'll get plastered, but not a priority right now. If the big priority is let's just sweep and try to get this all clean for once.
One of the fun things about owning a chateau is you do find random things. And well, I'm gonna get in the shadow here, so that's not gonna help us. But what we found here, first of all, a little forklift thing. We have a better one. But then we found a meat slicer. It's big and it's super heavy. And we're not using it right now, but we'll take it out to the restaurant, maybe someday. And while we're finding things, see these tiles? See how thin they are? So that's like a brick. That's my finger. So it's maybe 1.5 inches. This is what our wall, some of our interior walls are. So sometimes you guys are thinking, or perhaps some people are thinking, why is it so hard to attach stuff to the wall? Well, the wall's that thin. Like for example, here you are. It's that thin. You know, it's a couple inches thick. So you've essentially got the brick and then a little bit of plaster on each side. So if you're trying to put a screw or something in, so easy to go through. If you don't use a really, really short screw, it will go all the way through. And then of course, if you use a really short screw, it's not very strong. So it is challenging, at least for this North American. Probably folks from Europe probably have it all figured out and know how to do it. So busy week. How you feeling, Bess? How you feeling? Are you ready to go? Are you ready?
I'm excited.
Are you?
Because whenever we have work weeks, it's a lot of work getting there.
Yeah.
But it's like magic wands that are kind of sprinkled across everywhere because many hands make less work. And Lord knows we got work coming out of the ears. So
yeah.
I'm happy and excited. I'm just praying the weather is going to be nice. It's like a day like today would be perfect because you're not like super hot. It's not super windy. It's really nice day.
Yeah, so it'll be a good week for the Chateau, and I think for us too. And our students come in less than 4 weeks, so we're getting there.
And
oh yeah,
a lot of these folks are like parents of kids we had back in the day when we were like 20 or 23, or I don't know how old we were, doing youth ministry in churches in Canada. So that's like super fun to see kind of full circle some cool folks that used to know us when we were young. And now they get to come help us on this crazy thing. Yeah, I mean, some of you guys know us from Canada, like Pastor Ian Lawson is coming. The Friesens, Terry and Sheila Friesen are organizing the thing. Ron and Linda Dick, the Working Teens, and the EPs. And then one of our old students, Tawny, and her long-term boyfriend, Stuart, they're coming out. So that's going to be fun. They're going to be hanging out with all the old people for the week. But, I think they're going to enjoy it. It's good to talk about stuff. Okay, thanks for coming along. Next week's video, lots of fun coming up, and we'll see you next week. See all the afters. It'll be great.